frequency. We got the right connection, not surface level, seeking a deeper direction. Biblical conversations, yeah, the realest you could find, unpacking the word.
Welcome to the B.I.G podcast, aka the We Believe in God cast, where wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And in all thy getting, get understanding. I'm your host, Brother Micah, and today we got a real good one. Continuing in the series of Life Outside of America, I have another guest here that's been outside the country for quite some time, has been all over the world, many different countries. And so we're going to get his perspective on what life is like outside of America, what it's like to travel, and try to answer as many of your questions as possible. So lock in, stay tuned, and let's get to it. So let me bring in Brother Micah. Let me bring you in right quick. Say what's up to the people. Get you in here right quick. Yeah, get your mic, adjust your mic. Get a little closer to you. Like, sit back, get comfortable, man. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah. All right. So, real quick, aside from your name, Micah, just introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get into it.
Yeah, me and your son have the same name.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm from Washington, D.C. I was born in the Gullah Geechee Islands in South Carolina, so that's probably what gave my inclination to even leave, because a lot of people just never leave their area. But then during COVID, which that's a whole nother story, we ended up moving to Miami just to stay, southern Florida. We wanted to just be on the beach, anything, wherever we lived at. I said, if we're going to be confined to our home, we're going to be on the beach. Then we went to, from there, we moved to Cartagena, Colombia. Then there we had another place in Medellin. We frequented Barranquilla a lot. Then we stayed there for about a year and a half, 2 years. Then we went to Curacao. We stayed in Curacao for 2 years. Had a couple of places there. Really enjoyed living in the Caribbean on the beach. And then we moved from there to here to Egypt. And we've had about 4 different places where we lived in here in Egypt so far.
Okay. All right. So let's back up, right? So I want to kind of get to, like, what was your life before you left America, and what kind of got you into the mind frame and the mindset to say, you know what, I want to live outside of America? Or was it things you just wanted to travel and you ended up living outside of America? But what was your, like, what led you to the point where you said, you know what, I want to visit places outside of America, I want to live outside of America?
Well, really, COVID did it. When we all right, I'm gonna tell it's kind of personal story a little bit, but the day that the world shut down, that was March 23rd, 2020. That was the day I got released from prison.
Oh wow! I'm saying the day you got out is the day that COVID hit.
That was the day that the world shut down. I was eligible for release on that Friday, which would have been March 20th, 2020. They said something happened, so it was the weekend. The guys came and picked me up in a black Cadillac with tents on it. I thought that they were trying to kidnap me from prison, bro. I've never got out from that.
Who was picking you up? Who was this?
The prison transportation.
Oh, they came black
Instead
on black.
of coming in a gray van,
Yeah.
the guy came and picked me up in a black STS, maybe about a 2006, maybe STS, man. 2007, something, STS.
Okay, so I didn't know this because I've been knowing you for
2010.
I've been knowing you for about a year now, maybe.
About 2 years.
2 years.
Almost.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I met
2
you 2
years.
years. It's been 2 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, the baby wasn't born yet.
You might have told me this, but I don't remember the fact that you saying that this happened on the day you came home from prison.
Yeah,
so let's continue. So let's get into it. So you get out of prison, the world shut down. So take us from there.
So the guy drops me off in Southeast DC to one of my friends. He didn't even take me to the halfway house. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. But he didn't take me to the halfway. He dropped me off, and I'm thinking it's still normal. So I'm thinking everything's going to be out. I didn't really know what was going on. We heard of COVID. We heard people were sick. But that's the day that everybody was really shut down. So I stayed in the halfway house for about a month, and then they shut down the halfway house too. They said people were sick. There was a lot of stuff going on. That place is shut down now. It had been open for 40 years or something at the time.
Wow. Okay.
So now, after that, I was on house arrest at home. And I told my wife, I said, man, if we got to sit in the house and be on house arrest, we got to live on the beach.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
That's,
like,
if you're
now,
gonna do it, that's the way you do it.
yeah, and now it's like the world is on house arrest. I'm getting on for prison. I'm supposed to be on house arrest.
Right. And
But now
everything locked down.
everybody's locked down. Everything's locked down. So immediately once I was able to get the ankle monitor off and not be in our own house, we went directly to Florida, and we stayed on the beach.
Yeah.
And we lived right on Ocean Drive. We were on like Hallandale Beach is where we lived.
Okay.
Yeah. So we stayed there for about 6 months, and then it got cold in Florida.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I had went back to Washington just to do some things. We still had our house in D.C. So my wife, she called me and just said, "Hey, babe, I'm not coming back." I said,
That'll motivate you.
Yeah, that was motivation enough. So I said, all right, I'm gonna send you some money. She showed me what breakfast cost in Colombia. And it was like a whole breakfast, pancakes, eggs, juice, potatoes, and it was like $3.
Yeah.
And I'm there where we paying for one plate of food, one breakfast, probably $20, $25,
Right.
I'm in Washington, D.C., it's a lot. So when I saw that, it was like it made perfect sense. I said, okay, we're gonna plan for everything.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So you had never traveled outside the country before that?
Yeah, I had been to Mexico. I had been, the local places.
And just for like visits though, like vacation type stuff?
I never really take vacations,
Right.
but yeah, I ended up
It was
just going
short term,
certain
like
places.
short stays.
Short term, short stays.
So do you feel like you were comfortable being outside the States? It wasn't such a foreign idea for you, foreign concept?
Being in Colombia was comfortable for me because I speak Spanish.
Well, no, I mean that is a big plus.
Yeah.
But I mean just being comfortable traveling outside of America because you had visited different places, so you would say you were comfortable in that aspect, right? Because I'm asking these questions from the perspective of somebody who may be considering traveling. They haven't traveled, or maybe they haven't lived outside the country, right? Mm-hmm. So I just want to kind of understand your mindset going into this, going into living outside of America, right? I mean, so you come home from prison, the world is shut down, you move to Florida, you want to be comfortable, which makes a lot of sense, right? You're going to be on house arrest, you might well be on house arrest at the beach, right? So then at some point you get off house arrest, right? Did you have to do parole?
Yeah.
So how did this house arrest and parole impact your ability to travel and go to different places?
That's even another story, man. Parole is like supervised release in D.C. So, I mean, it's real petty. But most of the time, I wasn't even there. I was staying away. It's COVID, so it's not like you got to really go in for visits or anything.
Yeah.
So I would call the PO. I would, tell them whatever they wanted to know, whatever they wanted to hear. I would let them know what it was. And then I got off of that supervised release / parole. I got off of that like in a year later. So we stayed in Florida for 6 months, and then my wife had went and got us a condo in Cartagena in Colombia, and then she came back. So we packed up some of our things, and then we went back. So once I got off of the parole thing, it was really cut and dry. I'm happy to be away. Like, I travel a lot already. They could say certain places is dangerous, but I mean, any inner city in America is kind of more dangerous than the places I've seen outside of the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, it's not as let me say vicious or like super bad intent or like traitorism like in America. In other countries, you go somewhere, if you're in a bad area, okay, something could happen. But in America, you could be at a 5-star restaurant and somebody come in and steal your watch,
Right.
So,
And that's something I can attest to, is that America's a very violent place. And the thing is, on television, they show us everywhere else is the worst place on earth, right? Everywhere, everything outside of America is a third world country. Everything outside of America is violent and unstable. But then when you go visit these places, it's not that way. The culture of the people is not necessarily violence. Like here in North Africa, I see a lot of confrontations, but rarely do I see physical altercations.
Exactly. They'll yell, they'll do little stuff, but
So with that being said, right, that's something I learned. We resolve issues with violence in America.
Yes.
Outside of America, that's not really the standard. That's not the norm. It happens. Don't get it twisted. But the stuff they show us on TV, like for example, Colombia, right? The stuff they show us on TV about those places are not necessarily, what the majority of the people.
Exactly.
That's like the worst of the worst, right? And I think that's propaganda to kind of scare you and deter you from actually,
Yes.
dealing with that. Yeah.
Yes, because actually, when my wife first went, it was just her and my babies, and she was pregnant. So she was just going because she could go. We lived in Florida. It's like a 2-hour flight from Florida. So when she first got there and her phone died, man, I had the embassy on the phone. I had about 3 security companies. So I'm like, she's in Colombia. They took her. They holding her for ransom.
TV, too much TV.
Yes, man, too much TV.
That TV that showed you. Yeah.
Then she called me
yeah.
and she laughed. But then we sent my bigger son. He was there with her. Then when I went, honestly, when I got there, they greeted us with open arms. They brought us anything we wanted, even though these people might not have. They might not be rich, the ones that's working there. They'll still give you anything that you want, tell you, oh, yeah, come pay me tomorrow. If you don't have it then, and tomorrow again.
Because people operate with a certain degry of integrity.
Integrity,
because
that's
another
different.
thing. See, like, what I noticed, like, in foreign countries, your I'm forgetting the word now. Your reputation. Thank you. I forgot the word. Your reputation. The reputation for them is real big.
Yes.
Real big. It's more like, in America, it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care about nobody. Care about your reputation. If I got this bread, I won. I ain't tripping. But
Exactly.
in foreign countries, reputation is big. So, and they assume that you're a good person, right? And so if they give you something on credit and you don't give them back, your reputation is ruined.
Yeah, then you're just
done in the
reputation
community.
ruined.
You're done in the area. Nobody gonna deal with you.
Exactly.
So they work on a different system there. But I wanna go back to before you left, like. For people who haven't left, what's that process like? Getting a passport, going to another country. How difficult was it? How scary was it? How how much of the unknown was a factor in your traveling and whatnot?
It was actually really easy. My passport wasn't a problem. I just waited till I got off of the papers, got my passport. So it wasn't like.
What's the process for getting your passport for those who don't know?
I went to the post office. The first time I went to the post office in Maryland. And then it was something with the address or something. So when I went back to get my passport, I was in Florida. So I just made the appointment in Florida, went and talked to the guy there, told him what it was. He said, oh, I'll just speed this up for you. Did it for free.
Yeah.
And he was a Latino guy too, in Florida. Right. So he was like, oh, I told him what happened. I said, man, I've been waiting on my passport. He said, oh, it was something with the address. He said, it's going to come to you expedited this time, fast, with no extra cost.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
So, yeah, no extra fee. So that came like within about 10 days maybe. And then once I got my passport, I just booked the flight and left.
Right. And so for anybody, because I know for me, before I got my first passport, in my mind, I thought getting a passport was some kind of process where you had to go to some kind of government building and get screened, and I just didn't know. I don't know what I thought, right? And then when I actually started asking about it, it's like, yeah, go to the post office. It's $120. They're gonna give you an application. You just fill it out, give it back to them. They mail it off, and you have your passport within a matter of weeks. And in Texas, because we have a passport office in Texas. We get it pretty fast.
Yeah, we get it same day if you need to, right?
I don't know, same day.
I know they got it in Philly.
In short notice.
Yeah, I know in Philadelphia.
If you go to Austin, you might get it. If you go to the actual office in Austin, you might get it the same day.
That's how it is in our area. I think it's Philadelphia. You can go get it same day.
Yeah.
But it was no problem with me waiting. And now I remember something. Now that you say something, a friend of mine, maybe 20 years ago, he had went to Brazil, and he said, man, look, it's nothing like what you think. He's like, I'm never coming back to America. He was just saying so many things, and I was like, dang, man, I could go. He's like, man, with $100, you could survive for a month here, maybe 50.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking, back then I didn't really know about exchange rates.
Right.
I didn't understand really how any of that worked, because when you're in America, you're like, all right, what, a Canadian dollar, a Mexican peso? You're not really thinking
Right.
about
You
anything
don't
else.
really
You
think about
might
no kind of
see it on
currency outside
certain
of the
stuff,
dollar.
but so when I figured it out, it's like, oh, I get it. He's like, yeah, man, I can live off of $50 or $100 a month. This is 20 years ago. So that has always been in my mind, like, oh, you can leave and survive with a little. Then I had a friend that went to Belize. This is probably, also about 20, 22 years ago. A friend of mine went to Belize and said, man, you can survive just with the money that you have now. You don't never have to work again. Like, you could
Right.
just go get a store or something and survive there. And mind you, these are stories that you wouldn't believe. You're like, man, I can't go nowhere. I gotta have 5 million. I gotta
Right.
have 10 businesses running. You might have that in your head, but actually, when you go somewhere else, like if you go to China, you could probably have a connection with cell phones and be able to sell cell phones in America.
That's a whole another aspect the hustle people have with just having a hustle what you're doing,
Yes.
man. But once again, I want to educate brothers and sisters who haven't traveled, who don't know what it's like. So I just going back for you. You fly to Colombia. It's your first time going to Colombia, right?
Yeah, first I go
Okay,
to
so
Colombia.
what was the difference in your expectation and what you really stepped off an airplane into, if you can remember that?
Well,
Uh-oh. See that grin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, one of my friends, right? He's an attorney, and he said, "Man, Cartagena is just like Miami, just on the other side, and everybody speaking Spanish." So he always told me he lived in Miami. So he's always telling me this. I just talked to him yesterday too. That's crazy. But he's always telling me this. He's like, man, it's the same as Miami. And I lived in Miami prior, back in 20 years ago. I had
Right.
already lived in Miami, Memphis, Atlanta, Texas, California, Mexico. I frequented, so I was just always used to moving around and usually by myself. So now the only difference was that I had my family with me and I had watch for everybody, watch out for them
Right.
too. But it really just came naturally to me. I'm used to just moving around mostly. I'm not really like a always in town type person. I'm always
Right.
trying to do something.
Okay,
So
so like, what did you have in your mind? Like, what do you think Colombia was gonna be like? Because I know really all you had was what you saw on TV and stuff. So, what were
yeah.
you expecting when you got off the plane?
I was kind of expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be so, like homely, like small, quiet, homely. It's quiet, but it's noise. You know, understand? Like if you're in the city, you hear mink, 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 mink,
Yeah.
horns all day, motorcycles. But everybody was so cool. They're really coming up to me just saying, welcome king, welcome king.
Wow. Yeah.
Like they say when you come to Africa, they're saying welcome home, brother, and all that. Everybody's just welcome king. Bienvenidos, rey. Miguelito, they ask you a name, they talk to you. All of the locals, everybody is so cool, so friendly. Even the police, which we come from, like you said, PTSD. Even the
Yeah.
police was the nicest guys ever. Even if they're being mean to you, they were still being nice.
Yeah. Compared to America.
Compared to America,
Yeah.
we would have been shot 6 times with the interactions that
Off
I've
the
had.
rip, yeah.
Man, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to Colombia, you're there. What if you can go back 20 years? What would you tell yourself then that you didn't know that you know now? Like how would you have prepared yourself, your younger self, to go to a foreign country?
Honestly, I was basically doing that the entire time I was in America. I was waiting to see where we were going to go. Me and my wife knew we were going to leave. We
Yeah.
just didn't want to go far away or anything. But like I said, my friend over 20 years ago, told me, like, you can move out of the country and live. So I've been preparing the whole time of trying to start businesses everywhere, trying to do any business with good people that I know. Like, if I'm going somewhere else, if I need $20,000, I could call them and tell them, hey, wire me some money.
Yeah.
Everybody. So the whole time I was in America, I was working up to doing that. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of been trying to get prepared the whole time. But, you know, you can plan, but, you know, God is the best of planners, right? So we ended up just, when COVID happened, this was our opportunity to leave. You know, because
Right,
you could
right.
get caught up in so many things. You'd be like, oh, after I finish this one business deal, or after I make this much money, or after I see this person, or this person comes home, I'm going to do such and such. No, all of that stopped during COVID.
Right, right, right.
And we just said, all right, it's time to leave now. Let's just go. While we have the opportunity, that's when we just got out of our comfort zone and moved to Florida. But we didn't want to move so far because we wanted to give our families a chance to come still see the kids. We got small
Right,
kids,
yeah.
big kids. So we're trying to just stay close enough so everybody can't say, oh, you guys just moved away. So we kind of like eased away slowly.
Okay,
You know?
yeah. Gradually. Okay. So how long were you in Colombia?
About a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. So then what was the next destination? Did y'all go back to the States, or are you like, now I'm done with America?
Nah, I went back to the States just to get rid of all of the rest of our stuff.
So that was it. So once you left, you lived outside of America, you were like, yeah, I'm good on America.
Yeah, because we had been through so much already. So my friends, like, basically, we still kept that place in Florida. And then I put everything in storage. So then I still had furniture, clothing. We had so much stuff in our house in America, in Maryland. We had so many things still, like so much stuff. And this is after we gave away many things, everything. So I had to go clean out that house. I gave away still most of the furniture that was there. Paintings. I mean, we gave away clothing, artwork. I mean, we just gave away so much stuff. So that kind of like got us ready to leave. Like, oh, all right, I got rid of everything now. We can't do anything else but go build.
Right.
So in Colombia, we had already been in our house in Cartagena specifically. We had an entire apartment full of things, 2 furniture sets, bedroom, 2 living room furniture sets, bedroom furniture, dining room. We had an extra room for the nanny and for the maids.
Yeah.
So we furnished that entire place in Cartagena on our own. I mean, beautiful paintings. We had like a purple couch. Everything was so nice and so specifically tailored for us. And to let that go, we sold it all for just the amount of money that it was to ship our bags. Not even to ship our bags, but just to pay for our luggage on the plane. So now when we went to Curacao, you know, it's the Caribbean right off the coast of Venezuela. You have Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. They call them the ABC Islands. So we stayed there for 2 years. And that was really fun. I actually started a business there. My wife had 2 salons there. She had 2 shops. I mean, it's like vacation time. The water's clear. And that's what I told her. I said, I just want to go to a beach where the water's clear, where we can see through the water. I said, wherever we got to move to.
Yeah.
So I think we were going to somewhere like by Ecuador or Peru or something. And then she said, oh, it's Curacao. And we had already been looking at Curacao. We went there for a vacation. We saw it was nice. We moved back 2 months later.
Okay.
And we moved.
Okay. So with that you kind of lead to another question I want to ask. What's your preparation like for somebody who hasn't traveled before and they think about going to another country? What's the process of preparation? Like you said, y'all visited there, but are there any other tips and any other advice you would give to somebody as far as preparing to relocate to another country outside of their home country?
Yeah. Watch the walking tours. Go to YouTube. Click on any of the walking tours of the country. Google everything about the place that you can. Even if you're only going to be there for a week or a month. You know, still Google everything you can about it. Call somebody there. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram. Reach out to somebody there and just find out what you're doing. Because I think it's really more so on what are you going to this place to do.
Okay.
You understand? It's more so like what are you going to do there versus, oh, I'm just moving somewhere. Because you can move somewhere. Like when we moved to Curacao, so many mosquitoes bit me. I got some type of illness.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had to actually go to the doctor, take some type of pills. It was like every time a mosquito bit me, it would just turn into a big sore, like
Oh my goodness.
bad, yeah.
You have a real bad allergic reaction to it.
Yeah, I wish I would have known not to open the windows at night in Curacao.
Get that nice cool breeze.
Yeah,
You
it
ain't
was
know
that
what
cool
coming.
breeze coming
Yeah.
in, but also it was 1,000 mosquitoes coming in.
Way worse than here.
Yes, way worse.
Oh,
wait, we're
okay.
on an island there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's hot.
Surrounded by water. They breathe
Surrounded,
mosquitoes.
they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
So, and you kind of went into something I was thinking about asking too. Like, I know you talked about how wonderful your experience is, but there's pros and cons to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, can you speak to some of the negative things, some of the negative experiences that you had that, like, you could warn people about? Like you talk about the mosquitoes. That's one thing. Can you think of other things, even when in Colombia or Carousel?
The languages, the language barrier, and the culture differences. It's something we could do normal in America, and they'll look at it like it's disrespectful or just dirty. But we'll look at the same stuff that they do, like, man, why did you do that? Because so it's cultural differences. That's why I say when you research as much as you can, then you know, like you watch the YouTube videos, maybe this will come up for Egypt, or maybe this will come up when people say travel abroad, when they put in the search. So you just want to look up all of the details about everything that you possibly can. And then once you get there, you're just there. It's not like you're landing with a big shirt on that says I'm a tourist. Because in Medellin,
Yeah, you saying you're not, but I mean they can spot a tourist a mile away.
unless you know. Like, so if you go to Colombia, Medellin specifically, Cartagena is a beach town, Barranquilla kind of a beach town, Cali kind of hot. But if you go to Medellin and you wear shorts, they know you're a tourist.
Oh,
Nobody in Medellin wears shorts.
So that's the thing. That's something you can pick up from like watching those walk videos and tourist videos. You can pick that up, right?
Yeah, I mean, they tell you, like, so you don't want to look like a tourist. That's when they just like, they can
you're a
figure
target
you
now.
out.
They finna try to scam you out your money. Somebody scam you, but then they're gonna just try to hustle you. They're gonna try to sell you everything and overprice stuff.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
So tourism or being seen as a tourist and being targeted as a tourist is a downside. What else? What other things would you say are some things that people need to be at least aware of that could have a negative impact on their stay in another country?
Don't record so many things with your phone. Like if you have a camera or if you're doing like specific shoots, all right, but just know, like, recording certain places people don't like. In Medellin, you can't pull out your camera. You can't pull out your phone. They won't rob you for it. They'll take it from you and tell you don't use it again, or they're gonna break it, like something like that. They did that to one of my friends. He's he lives in Colombia, but he's a world traveler. He's from Australia.
Yeah.
So he's talking to me on the phone. He's like, yeah. He's like, I gotta go. I'll call you back. Because he's walking down the street talking to on a camera phone.
But what's the issue with that? Do you know, like, is it they think you're working with the police or something, or they think you're plotting on them, or what?
They never know, so they're not taking any chances. You got to remember, their culture comes from Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
You understand?
That was a real.
Yeah, that was a real thing.
I mean, I'm saying that was a real time. Like, it was a span of time they had to live under that kind of environment. So
So they're still accustomed to it. Even in the Middle East, here in Egypt, they don't like you to be on your phone.
Hold up now. That's just for the record. This is North Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know they consider the Middle East. We in Africa.
I meant like the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, like all of that, plus here, which they consider this is MENA, right? Middle East, North Africa, right?
Yeah.
They always try to do that, try to throw that in. But for the most part, just stuff like that, little cultural differences or certain places where you should know what the good neighborhood is and what the bad neighborhood is.
Yeah.
But ironically, the day I got to Colombia, I didn't even go in our house. I never even stepped foot in our house before. The day I got to Colombia, we lived literally a half a block from the airport in Cartagena.
Okay. Yeah.
Before I ever went inside and even seen our house, I had already saw a guy that's there. It's a lot of people there that's always outside of the airport. My wife might know him, like, I see him all the time.
Right.
So they see me, hey, you here, you finally here. I'm like, yes. They take me straight to the hood. Before I ever even went in the house. She went in the house with the kids, and I just hopped in the car with my buddies. Yeah, I'm gone. We going to go, yeah. You understand?
Now, looking back, do you think that was a dangerous thing to do?
Very. Very.
Yeah.
Very.
But I will say this, though. It is a dangerous thing. However, there's something in people that come from where we come from. You got to go.
yes.
You got to go. You got to see it because you feel comfortable in that environment. And if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
if you know how to carry yourself, you know how to carry yourself, and you be aware. You know, but yeah, I understand. Like because so in the soil I touch, I'm like, hey, I need to go. I want to see the hood.
Yeah, I want to see what it is.
I want to see
right?
the hood. Like you know, but it could be dangerous. So don't.
I didn't really like seeing the hood in America.
Yeah.
In America, I asked them,
Well,
where's the
you
hood?
Seen one,
Take
you
me the
seen all
opposite
of
way.
them. Yeah,
Exactly.
So
in
you know what
America.
to expect
I
there,
know-
but then
I
you
know
want to go
exactly.
see what it's like over here.
Yeah, but in other countries like Curacao, our first night there, we ended up, it was a block party. So the block party, right? The first night we were there, we're just going out trying to find some food. It's like 10 p.m. We're thinking, oh man, somebody still got to be open, whatever. So we go, it's like, a small town. We live in a park called Barber in the west of the island, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really anything open at night. It's really like countryside, mountains, just nice houses. That's where the president lives. He was
yeah.
like in our neighborhood, right? So we pull out, I pull where I see some lights. I'm thinking it's like a restaurant. It was an entire block party. They had it blocked off, like literally block party. They had the streets blocked off. They wouldn't let us through. They had big guns on their shirts. Some type of group.
Not pictures, but guns, real guns.
They had pictures of guns on their shirt, a
Okay.
silhouette.
Yeah.
And they had the
Big guns.
choppers. They
Okay,
had
yeah,
choppers.
yeah.
You understand?
I figured that, yeah.
You understand? And then all of the guys around, these was real serious looking guys, but they're having a big party. DJs.
They on security, but
Everything.
they still having a good time. They not tripping though. Like in America,
Oh no! When I told them, I said we just got here. We're Americans. We're, tourists. They was like, oh, they moved all of this stuff, let us through.
and they very welcoming.
Yes,
Yeah.
very welcoming after
Yeah.
that. Very welcoming. We stayed there for 2 years. We know so many people. The entire island knows us. It's not like a lot of Americans that moved there.
Yeah.
My wife's aunt moved there. We had plenty of people that we told about that place. People couldn't pronounce Curacao before.
Right,
And then
right.
we,
But somebody got to be the first one, especially in your family. 'cause,
trailblazers.
we don't, as a people, we don't travel that much.
Exactly.
And we're because of the unknown. People tend to fear what they don't know.
Yeah.
And so you don't know nobody who traveled. It just seems such a foreign idea, such a foreign concept. But it really, for me, I was surprised. I'm like, man, it's really, and this is an oversimplification, but it was like, really, you just get on the plane and go and get
Yeah.
off the plane, and you there. It's like
Yeah, they make it
it's-
such a big deal. And I think that's the issue. It's so just like, it's like a grand, I don't know, it's like a whole facade over everything. You understand? It's like a whole big facade.
Yeah.
All you got to do in order to break that cycle is, I would say, it's best just to leave for about 2 weeks. Once you go on vacation for 2 weeks, not for 2 days, not for
Yeah.
5 days, 4 nights, but leave for 2 to 3 weeks. Once it settles in, after the first month, I felt it, because it's like, oh, I don't got to pay that $3,000 for rent now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we were just, that's when it clicked to me. It might be something different for other people, but that's when it clicked to me. So I would say, if you want to get prepared, just go on a vacation for 2 weeks to a month. Make sure you like the place where you are. Have some experiences there. Experience the food. Because when we got to Colombia then too, you had to get accustomed to the food.
Yeah, now, when you say accustomed, you mean like your body?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes you can have, because that's one thing I noticed. A lot of people that come here, probably within that first week or so, you get sick. Everybody gets sick because your body's getting, I don't know, it's different germs and stuff coming in, but you have the stomach thing, and then after that you're straight.
Yeah.
But everybody kind of go through that part, right?
Yep, exactly.
What was I about to ask you, man? So the money aspect, because I think you throwing out a lot of figures, and that can be discouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what do you say to the person that say, "Well, man, my money ain't right. I ain't got that kind of money."
Okay. This is the perfect question right
Oh,
here.
I'm glad. I was looking for the one.
This is such a good question right here. Like, look, so if you can calculate what you spend,
Talk to him.
if you can calculate what you spend every month in America, and you can cancel out what you actually don't need
Ooh, I know where
for
you're
1
going.
month, you could probably pay your rent for 3 months somewhere else. Because if we spend in America, I'm just gonna say our number was like $10,000 a month that we had to spend. That was rent, car note, insurance, food, cell phones, internet,
Fast
the
food.
kids. The kids' school takes
Oh,
up a
yeah.
lot. Just them going to daycare or school. So if you got 3 kids, let's just say, and you're paying $1,000, I don't know how much it is a week or a month now, but let's say you're paying $1,000 a month. That sounds about right for childcare, and I think that's a low price. That's $3,000 right there a month. But if you take them out and put them in homeschool, and you just keep them in homeschool, or pay a nanny for a month or for 3 months, you can save that 9,000, and then use that 9,000 to come in. Here in Egypt, you could pay your rent for about what's that? A year?
Oh man.
You can pay your rent for more than a year,
Man,
but you can
listen.
actually live off that 9,000 and pay your rent, right?
Man, listen. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I mean, you got to do the conversion. You got to do the research, man. But yeah, the U.S. dollar can go a long way in other countries,
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's one thing, right? So cutting expenses, being intentional about saving money, so if you want to travel. So what about people with the families? Like you had what, 2 children, and your wife was pregnant when y'all. You had 2 children, right? And she was pregnant when y'all first left.
About little kids.
Yeah.
We still had 3 big kids too.
Okay,
Yeah.
So my question with that is, for the audience, people who think about traveling, what is it like traveling as a family? Like by yourself is one thing, especially as a man. You know, I can take care of myself, but then when you got your wife and children, it's like you on high alert,
Yes.
and you watching everything that moves. So what was that
Yeah.
like for you, traveling with your family?
Man,
And tell the people that's watching, man, what it's like. You know,
So one of the first big lessons that I learned was we had booked flights, and it was with a airline. I'm gonna say that just went out of business. They just stopped. I'm not gonna say any names.
we already talked about it. I talked about it with your wife. So
Yeah.
Spirit. You talking about Spirit?
Yes.
They went under.
Man, and I had to book all new flights,
Huh.
all for the entire family. It was
This recently.
this was in. I mean, it was kind of recent. It was while Spirit was still open.
Yeah.
I had to book all new flights. They wouldn't let her on the flight. I didn't even know what was going on. I was still getting the bags.
Yeah.
I come in the airport. They're saying, yeah, you can't get on the flight. So I don't know what was going on, but I had to book 6 new tickets.
Woo.
Right then and there.
You had to pay for 6 new tickets?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
And no refund, no nothing, no helping.
But and they never said why?
I mean, it was Spirit Airlines. The people really had bad attitudes. Really bad attitudes. So my wife's there trying to talk to the people, and then she gets frustrated because I don't want to go into detail, but it was some guy that was not real cool.
Yeah.
Who just kept saying stuff, and he gets his supervisor, and it's this lady that's being mean. And
said-
they wouldn't even listen. And this is, how could you make that decision that fast? I didn't even walk into the airport
Right.
yet. It was just my wife standing at the desk, and
And got into it with the people and they didn't cancel y'all flight.
yes, it cancel. Yeah, you can't go. You cancel your
So
flight.
so
Had to book all new flights
right,
right.
and that's
then
one thing I can attest, that traveling with a family gets very expensive very quick.
Yes, very quick.
Yeah.
one flight might be $200. He's like, oh, that's a good
Yeah,
price.
by yourself.
And then when you got to book 6,
That's where I'm at.
yeah,
Them 16.
yes, man,
Them
yes,
6 tickets get real
You're
fast.
real.
Boy.
man.
Hey,
I know
hey.
what that was that day.
But but I will say this though: traveling to a foreign country, a lot of times the most expensive part is the tickets.
Yeah.
Once you get there,
Yeah,
you can do a lot with your money.
yes,
Right.
yes. That was why we actually left Curacao.
Okay.
Because Curacao, we had to fly all the way to Amsterdam, 9-10 hour flight, just for us to get comfortable, or to Canada, or to the U.S.
All right.
So at the least, it'll be maybe I could get to Miami in 3 hours, but to D.C., New York, anything like that, it would take a long time to get to to the Netherlands, it'll take a while because Curacao is it's the Dutch Antilles.
Okay.
So the flights go right into the Netherlands, right into Amsterdam, easy. So that's one of the other things though, location and how remote we were being so far. I mean, we were close to Venezuela, but who wanted to go there at the time, you know?
Right.
So that was probably one of the other issues. That's why we actually chose Egypt.
Okay.
Because it's in the middle of everything. We could get everywhere fast
So
and cheap.
what countries have you visited in Africa in general?
None. We left Africa. We leave. She went to Kenya. She's been to other places.
Yeah.
I have business partners in other places, but I don't frequent those places.
Okay.
We go to Europe. We've been to many, many places in Europe. We've been to many places in Europe. Like that's what I said. We've been to Budapest, Athens, Rome. What's the other places? Oh, Istanbul. We love Istanbul. Turkey is great. We go to Sharm el Sheikh.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's still Egypt,
Yeah.
but it's the Asian side, the Sinai Peninsula.
Yeah.
And we've been many places, like just traveling through our travels. But those are the places that are notable that I like.
All right, so let's fast forward to where we are now, right? Or up to when you get to the African continent. So, what was that? Now, because now we get to Egypt. This, I know this place. I've been here for a long time, right? So a lot of things you might say and stuff I can kind of confirm, whatever. But I would like to see, because for me, I've been here so long that a lot of things have become normal for me, and so I forget and it don't really bother me. But how long have y'all been here? What?
2 years.
2 years. So it's still relatively fresh. So talk about getting off that airplane.
Oh, you know this story, huh?
Well, I know my story. I know a lot of stories. So I'm saying, talk about getting off that airplane, man. And what you thinking you getting yourself into, what you think you coming into, opposed to what you're really coming into.
Man, so
We not afraid to speak it, we not afraid to explore. Knocking on the heaven's door, asking for more. This is your space, welcome to the congregation. Tune in and receive the next revelation. It's the bold faith and don't put your